Hello, I'm Madeline Tynan from the Tynan Motor Group, and here today I'm with Nicholas Tynan. He is looking after our Suzuki and Hyundai brands, which are up at Kirrawee on the highway. Welcome, Nicholas. How are you this morning?
I'm very, very well, thank you.
Great. Can you just give us a little bit of an update of exactly what's happening out there in dealerland as far as your two brands that you're looking after?
Yeah, sure. As we all know, since the sort of COVID pandemic started in 2020, stock's been our biggest issue. So we haven't had a lot of cars.
Not just in your brands either, no, that's right across the board.
That's right. That's across the board, no matter what brand you go to, there's going to be a pretty dramatic weight on cars. So in our Hyundai franchise, we've got a little bit of stock sort of trickling through from time to time, but basically majority of our cars are from factory order. But look, us and the team down there at Tynan Hyundai, we made a decision to basically have a demonstrator of each individual vehicle. So we've got one of each engine variant available for test drive, and then we take orders from there.
So that when you're saying that, it used to be that I think the average around to test drive a vehicle when we look at it in the industry, most of your clients would have gone to 4 or 5 dealers to have a look at cars and make up their mind, etc. Now, really, it's a one deal landing, and getting the stock for them is an order basis only.
Correct. Yeah. So what I'm finding, a lot of the customers that do come into us, we're getting a lot of people from sort of interstate, from all around different parts of New South Wales, because a lot of dealers just don't have the stock to test drive. Yeah.
Right. So what have you got in at the moment that's exciting? I love the N lines. I mean, we've got the Kona N, the i20N, the i30N, the i30N sedan. I mean, it's a real enthusiast car,
For sure.
isn't it?
Yeah. It sort of took me by surprise when Hyundai started bringing out all these sort of sports cars.
Well, it used to be like Subaru WRX was always trendy, the Mitsubishi. Now N-Class has really taken away.
So the N is, literally, as you said, sort of I grew up sort of idolising, your WRXs, your WRX STIs, all that sort of vehicles, I suppose you could say. And now Hyundai's literally taken that and run with it. The first i30N we had about 4 years ago. And now we've expanded, so we've got i20N, we've got Kona N, we've got the i30N sedan, and now we're moving into the M line series, which is literally taking the best design aspects of the car, and we're putting it into your Tucson and your i30s as well. So you do get the style, looks and feel of an N, but you don't have to get that really aggressive suspension setup and the style, the sound, that sort of stuff. It's awesome. I really, really like it.
Okay, so run me through that again. You've just that's what I loved about it as well too, is the sound that comes out of that car, the suspension, the way it grabs on the road. Obviously, with our background with my father who started the company, Nicholas's grandfather, that's how he started in the industry, by rally driving. It's really a dream to drive, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, well, it's some people's dream, some people's nightmare. I certainly love it. As you said, you'd love it. We like to ask people before they test drive an i20N or an i30N, look, is this really the car for you? Because a lot of people think just because it's the top of the range one that they're going to love it, but it's really a driver's car. You really feel the road. It grips, it sounds crazy. We get a lot of complaints from people saying it's too loud.
Can you change that though?
Yeah, it's all dialed in. You can literally make custom modes on the car. It's all electronic, so you can turn, all the exhaust off, but turn all the other performance in there. And the great thing about Hyundai as well, everything's all track warranty too. So as long as it's not a
meaning for people that don't understand what you're talking about there, what does that mean?
So you can take your i30N, your i20N straight onto a track. If anything happens, it's all covered under warranty. As long as it's not a timed event, so you're not racing other people on the track. Right. You can go out, have a track day, play around on the track with your friends. But if anything does happen, it's all covered under warranty.
And how does it go off road? Have you been out there with one of the N classes on that?
The N's probably not sort of an off-road car,
right?
But specifically just track. Yeah,
just track.
They do have a couple of the cars. They did the Targa Rally down in Tassie a couple of years ago. They had a couple of the fastbacks in that. So more of a road driver's car. And
when you're saying, what age brackets are you saying, or is it really varied?
It is so varied. You'll get above your P plates, because they're not obviously P plate legal. You'll get your 20 to 26 year olds. You'll get 60 year olds that just want a car that makes noises and they can go on the weekends, and it's bizarre. I've never seen a car that sort of you can't put a circle around the people, and the people that really do buy them, they love it.
Hyundai have been at the forefront of design and technology and lessening emissions, everything, and really, I think their whole design team has really taken it a long way. This new car now, if you talk us through for the family, how many seats, and just run us through that you're selling now for family.
So the Palisade, or we've got...
You've got two, haven't you?
We've got the Santa Fe, that's a 7-seater. We've got the Palisade, that's a 7 or an 8-seater. Or we've got the Staria, which is the people mover. So we used to
I forgot the Staria. That's very true.
The Staria is a car that's sort of, a lot of people don't really like the look of. Then they drive it. I know Luke Willis has been in it for probably 6 months now, and I honestly can't pry him out of the car. He just loves it. So the Staria, the Palisade, and the Santa Fe, they're all built off the same platform. So they all share the same, feel, drive on the road, but just
even the Staria does.
Yeah. So if you get the Staria, you get in the diesel. It is the same 2.2 diesel that is in the Palisade and the Santa Fe, and it is all-wheel drive too.
I was blown away with the technology that's in those cars and the comfort. Like you're all of a sudden moving from, back, I've been around a long time, the initial Hyundais, but like 12,990, 11,990, to this magnificent machine that takes a family with the comfort of any top European car.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine actually pick up their Santa Fe Highlander this week, and he was saying the exact same thing. He said his first ever car on his B plates was an XL, and he said, they still actually have that particular car in his family today. So it's been 20 years and it's still running. But when I was running him through the Santa Fe, we could drive the car with the key on the fob. You just drive it backwards and forwards. He just was blown away.
So when you say that the key, you can completely be remote with the car?
Correct, yeah. So we've got a couple of cars that have remote start on the key. We've got a couple of cars here with the smart park, we call it. So you can move the car, in and out of tight car spaces, or next to a pole, anything like that. And then we've just introduced our Blue Link feature on our Palisade. So the Blue Link is completely via your phone, so similar to Mercedes-Benz.
Okay.
You can literally get into the app on the phone. It's all connected. You can start your car, put the windows down, open your sunroof, put your heated seats on, cooling seats on, you name it. It can be done. You can even project an address to Pizza Hut down the road, straight onto it, and it'll go when you jump into your car. That address will be in the sat nav. So it's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that is in across the board, or is that
only in the Palisade, the brand new 2023 spec,
right.
In the Highlander, so the top spec.
Right, and that's an order basis as well too.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We've got one down there as a demonstrator, so people can come and have a look. I'll have that for quite some time.
And do you suggest actually to ring and make a pre-booking to test drive the cars?
Definitely. That's probably the biggest change that we've had. We used to have a lot of walk-ins, test drives. They just come in any time and test drive. Now we spend majority of our time with appointments.
Right.
So give us a call.
Or you can send it through the website or
send
Facebook.
Through the website. That's probably easier to go through the website. We can literally lock a time. You can go into the website. It's really, really easy. You can book a time, and then I just literally, we just book it into our calendar and we have it. So when you're ready to rock and roll, we've allocated that time for you, and you'll take the car.
Can I just discuss with you too restaffing?
Yep.
Obviously, everyone in Australia, there's a summit going on at the moment about staffing and the lack of being able to get good quality staff.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you've been able to keep really solid up there in your department. You've got how many staff up there?
I've got 4 in Hyundai plus myself, and I've got 2 guys in Suzuki.
And you've really kept that stable, even though we've been through the pandemic and we've been, on limited times on days, etc. And we've now come back to flat out. How did that work for you?
Look, it was a difficult time. Even for myself, especially the first lockdown didn't really affect us too badly in terms of staff. That second or third one, I don't even remember. When we actually got shut down, that was pretty difficult for the first couple of days. But we all band together as a team. We weren't allowed to open the doors, but the guys, we still had cars coming through. So we had customers that had ordered their cars sort of 12, 18 months before, and their cars were due to arrive. So we had to get the cars out. It was just a different time. We're delivering cars on trucks or doing click and collect. We'd have to, the car would be out the front of the showroom. We'd be behind a closed door and sort of FaceTime them and show them how it all works. But we just made it work. But the team really came together, which is something.
And has that changed going forward as far as the way you sell cars with clients now? Do you think that's changed the perception of a client wanting to buy a car?
Yeah.
Because so much more is online as
Yeah,
well.
I'd say a lot more stuff is done through email. A lot more stuff, like even now, like brochures. You know, brochures that when I started, sort of 15 years ago, brochures were the number one thing. You had to have brochures, and you know the brochures would come through every 6 months. We'd get new brochures. You have to throw out all the old brochures. Now brochures just don't exist. It's all electronic. So that was probably the biggest shift that I've seen. And customers are okay with it. A lot of manufacturers were pretty scared to throw away
the brochures.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know, that's our biggest change. We just don't have brochures anymore. I used to have boxes and boxes, and this is organised here. But now it's just you walk in, we can email it directly to you.
Even business cards too. I find they're
cards,
not
pretty
working.
much everything. It's just that paper is sort of declined, which is pretty good.
Now, when we look at Hyundai and their social responsibility,
Yep.
aligns with the Tynan Motor Group's philosophy as well too. Do you want to run through that a little bit? I mean, obviously, you know, we don't believe in being in a community if we're not helping. And through the Michael Tynan Challenge, we do a lot of work within the community and give back to medical research.
Yeah.
Hyundai, they're amazing the way they help in the community.
So Hyundai's got their own sort of charity they run, got Hyundai Help for Kids, which I'm sure you would have seen. And they send us out an update all the time. They put together some money into a pool, and they really do awesome work with that. And we do.
They specialise in children?
Yes, they do. They specialise in children. Obviously, they had a really big rapport with Hyundai A-League through sponsorship. They don't do that anymore, but they are internationally really, really involved with soccer. Or football, whatever you want to call it, but they sponsor a lot of teams, a lot of local teams, that sort of stuff. They do a lot of work, yeah.
Right. Now, can we move on to the other brand that you work with?
The Japanese.
Yes, the Japanese, and Suzuki, which we've been with a long time. Have a fabulous management structure from the top down. You can see that going right through to their brand.
Awesome company to deal with, yeah.
Awesome. They're absolutely fantastic. Their direction to take us into the future is quite dynamic. Do you want to run through what they've got planned for the next little while?
Yeah, so obviously Suzuki's always been well known for being a good quality, affordable car that's going to run forever.
That's one thing too, is obviously their warranty and like Hyundai, 5-year warranty with Suzuki are looking after their clients.
Yeah, the Suzuki, you see it just on the road out here. Every day you drive to work, you see hundreds of Swifts. They're just awesome cars.
All with Tynan number plates too.
Yeah. So we're the number one Suzuki dealer in New South Wales at the moment. So I'm pretty proud of my team down there. And as you said, the management structure in there is really, really good. They're really, really, I would say, fluid in terms of the way they deal with it. You know, like when the pandemic started, they were just, very clear, very concise on what they do. We've got the Jimmy, which,
Now, let's talk about the Jimmy, because I've seen you can go up to Tynan's at Kirrawee at the moment. Nicholas has really done up a lot of the Jimneys. We'll put that out on our website to have a look. They are hard to get, but just run us through a bit of what you've done on the Jimny that you're driving at the moment.
Yeah, so the Jimny, we've pretty much put every genuine accessory we could on it. It's got everything on there. We're about to get another demonstrator shortly in the manual spec, so that'll be the first time we've actually.
So what you've got an automatic at the moment?
So we've got automatic at the moment. We'll be getting a manual in the next week or so. We'll be doing I'll probably do some similar things and that sort of stuff onto it.
So you've got lights on it, you've got roof racks on it, you've got
tow bars,
your winch, everything.
Everything's all on there.
What is it about that car? I mean, it's just been for so long an icon.
Yeah.
And you can't buy it. You have to just get in an order.
Yeah, literally.
And if you do have one and you want to sell it to us, please do, because we need them. What is it? Why?
Look, I don't know.
It's a different looking car.
Yeah, it's like, I love it. I think there's just something about it that just, it's just...
Well, it can take on any large four-wheel drive for a start.
Correct, yeah. You see all the comparisons online. You see plenty of them with the G-Wagon or the Jeep Wrangler, which, everyone loves those two cars as well. They're just iconic cars.
And thank God we sell them as well.
But you see it, and the Jimny just comes out on top every time. It's light, it's rigid, it's Japanese made, it's just quality. And it gets there. It gets the job done. And I think in an age where a lot of
it's reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's well priced for what you get. You can take that factory built car, take it to Alice Springs, go off road, and you won't have a drama. But I think in an age where manufacturers are moving more and more complicated, I think these less complicated cars like the Jimny that are going to get you there and get you there
never really have a problem.
And you're not going to have a problem. I think they're becoming more and more popular, and I think that was the perfect storm. The pandemic happened, people started travelling around Australia, You know, they wanted to go camping, they wanted to go off-road, they wanted to go on the beaches, and the Jimny was there.
Perfect car.
Yeah.
Now you've got the Baleno.
Yep.
Can you deliver?
So I've got a couple of Balenos left, and then once they're gone, they're gone. So we're just about to launch the shadow packs in there, which is a limited edition. And once they're gone, yeah.
And what's the shadow pack? What's that got on it?
So it's basically a limited edition just to run out the vehicle because they have stopped producing it. So it'll have black rims and a full black body kit on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And what else have you got up there at Tynan's at Kirrawee?
We've got Swifts, Swift Sports.
Can you deliver Swifts? Have you got,
what
have you got?
Yeah, we've got a pretty constant supply of Swifts, but again, it just depends. Like some people are pretty specific on the colours and that sort of stuff that they do want. So yeah, you just.
But we do have a immediate delivery on this, so that's available to you as well.
Yep.
What else do you have in that Suzuki brand at the moment?
So we're just about to launch S-Cross, which is
right. That's the car at the moment.
That's pretty exciting. So the new S-Cross is due to launch by the end of this month. So we're going down to Melbourne in the coming days for our big launch on that, which is exciting.
So stay tuned for that because we'll give you some video and update on that brand, which will be very exciting. Nicholas can do some video and some photography for us when he's down in Melbourne, and we'll be able to put that out on our website for you.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. I'm really excited about the new S-Cross.
So can you talk about it a little bit?
I can't really talk too much about it. Yeah, I'm sworn to secrecy because the big boys will be watching this video, so I won't say that. And there's a couple of other things coming next year for Suzuki too that, again, I'm sworn to secrecy on. So.
Okay, now just talk through, we talked a little bit about the management of Suzuki.
Yep.
Their training program is great that Michael has put in place for you and your staff. Can you run us through a little bit about that? I mean, even taking you all to Melbourne is great.
Yeah, it's exciting for us. We haven't had much physical, one-on-one training. Yeah, like a lot of the manufacturers just went all into Zoom, which is, it's great. But yeah, myself and my team are very excited to get down there and see the car and take it for a good spin and learn all about it. So
they've got constant training for you, haven't they?
Correct, yeah. So the guys at Suzuki are very, very hands-on. So they come in, several times a quarter and run us through everything. So it's good.
Okay. As far as that goes, then you come in. Preferably make an appointment to have a look. You can go for a test drive. You've got nearly every car you've got there.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And then, what process do you take the client through then? Having a look at. Is there a way you would then move the client on so that they can see if it's affordable for them?
Yeah, for sure. Our policy is just to be completely straight up and honest with customers at the moment. It's just, this is the wait time. It could be 6 months, it could be 12 months, depending on obviously what car it is. And be straight up and honest before they purchase the car because, there's people out there.
Well, there's no guarantee at this.
There is no guarantee. And we're completely transparent with that. It's very, very hard for us as well because we're obviously.
But it's not impossible. Like you get in the line and you get the.
Yeah, we've got cars coming in. The only way you can guarantee an order is to literally put an order in.
And then would you move them over to the finance department? I know the answers, but you take us through.
So our business managers are just on site. I work down obviously the Kirrawee site, so we've got four business managers there. If you need evaluation, we've got our valuer that's there. 7 days a week. We are open obviously 7 days. The process is pretty simple and pretty clear cut. Pretty much ask us a question, we'll find the answer for you.
So when you do that, you're fluid with the clients to find the right car for them, whether it be a Suzuki, whether it be a Hyundai, moving into the Jeep brand. I mean, we've got 17 brands. You're across all of that. It's an exciting time, really, even though it's a frustrating time because cars, we've never been so restricted on stock. But it is an exciting time, don't you think?
Yeah, it's exciting. What's good is that the customers are pretty good because they understand. We've been going through this for so long now. It's almost expected. Lucky enough this week I was able to call a couple of customers and say, look, your cars are 2 weeks early, and it was awesome. Yesterday we delivered a car to a customer, a Jimny. It was her 21st birthday, so it came in early for her, so she was pretty stoked. But yeah, it's an exciting time. There's obviously plenty of change in our industry. There's a couple of obviously new cars, new technology. It's just really flowing in all at the same time.
And Nicholas, I want to do this quite regularly, so at least every month to run through what's happening in the industry. I'm not going to touch on the electric or the hydrogen cars. I think that's a whole section on its own. So next time we get together, we'll do that. But just on a personal note, you've obviously been with Tynan's for 15 years.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Working
32 years, I always say.
Double it. for someone new coming into the industry, why would you recommend them to come into our industry?
Oh, geez. I love cars, so I'm a bit of a car nerd, I suppose, so it kind of helps me out. You know, I'm the guy that looks up the blogs and the, you know, all the stuff online. I'm out there on the socials looking for Twitter and looking for stories on new cars. So, like, new cars and new technology excites me. So it suits certain personalities like myself. But yeah, the car industry it's awesome. I work 3 minutes from home, so you know if I'm leaving at 5:30, I can get home pretty quick, which is pretty good.
So for getting someone though to come through the way, I mean, for knowledge here, Nicholas did full-time university and full-time working. Obviously, when we've got a 7-day a week, you did a full degree in
management and marketing.
Management and marketing down at Wollongong University, one of our favourite sponsors. But when you're developing a young talent through the ranks, what's your suggestion as far as studying or development?
Just to find that balance, I suppose, with me. Like I was lucky enough to obviously be in a family business and then obviously study at Wollongong University. I found a schedule and a degree that worked with how I can work as well. So I was sort of balancing that. Look, there's plenty of, you can do online studying and you can do anything you really want.
And the manufacturer's study is
that's what
fantastic.
I was just about to say, and the manufacturers really push. Like they've got Suzuki Academy, they've got Hyundai Academy, they really push us. And pretty much every brand has got a set structure that you need to complete. Like I know with Hyundai you have to do a full induction process and learn all about the history of the company and the processes and procedures that you do. So,
Well, I think if you come into Tynan's as a salesperson, well, you've got a great example of that at the moment, a young gentleman that's working for you.
That's what I was just about to say. Probably traineeship's probably the best. Like I'm a hands-on guy, so I like to learn, when there's people in front of me. That's what I prefer as a manager, to get people in fresh, that are clean skins that just don't know much about the industry, and bring them in and we just teach them everything we need to know.
Well, you brought a young fellow on that was a car washer, and he's gone through and he's now in a program to actually be developed into a full salesperson through a cadetship, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like probably the fourth or fifth time we've actually been able to do that, so it's awesome.
And the motor industry really has 5 different elements within the actual business. So you can move, once you actually move in with us, there is a program to actually move around. If you find that, sales is not necessarily for you, there's the service industry, the finance industry, the parts industry, the pre-delivery industry. There's a whole sort of system within a system, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. We're all coexisting teams, so we all work together, and we're all friends. We all talk to each other thousands of times a day, so we all work in conjunction with each other. So if you don't like this particular way, you go, look, I want to transfer to this department. Look, we'll definitely make that opportunity available for you.
Well, in saying that, we're going to roll it over today, and I'd love to have another chat with you again.
For sure.
But as a mother and a soon-to-be grandmother, we would like to congratulate you on your fantastic news that is coming shortly. Nicholas and Alex are going to be having a baby in February, so I'll be grandchild number 8, which we're very excited about. Congratulations to you. And congratulations on the way that you handle yourself within Tynan Motors, and also that your results that you're getting out of your team, Suzuki and Hyundai, and we'll definitely be having a chat next month.
Yeah, thanks. Good to have your mum in the marketing department, eh?
Thank you, Nicholas.